Elgato recently added to their line of products catered to streamers, gamers, and content creators alike with the ring light. While the design itself is nothing new, the ring light offers a source of lighting that's direct, all-encompassing, and most importantly, versatile. However, at $200, it's definitely not for everybody. And I will say for the vast majority, other lighting solutions, be it from Elgato themselves or other companies, will definitely suffice. Hey ladies and gentlemen, Adrian here for Digital Dojos, and today we're reviewing Elgato's new ring light. So I've had the ring light now for 2+ weeks. I've had it actually 2 days prior, early to actual official launch. So I've had a lot of experience and time to test this out and use it, whether it's for YouTube videos, videography in general, or even live streaming, which I've been slowly testing and setting up in this new studio of mine. So with that, it was a perfect time to really test a solution like this Elgato ring light. Elgato is a company that's owned by Corsair, and they're no stranger to the streaming/content creator space. If you've watched any Twitch stream ever, you've probably seen one of their products, be it the Cam Link, the Stream Deck, or their other lights in their lineup, I should say, or the Key Light and the Key Light Air. The ring light looks to add on to their existing lineup of lights and be an all-in-one solution, in my opinion. Now, the ring light, as the name implies, is exactly that. It's a light that is a ring to give you an all-encompassing light, and it's usually used, it's very popular like in the beauty guru world, or if you've seen those mirrors, for example, they're another bigger example of a ring light where somebody may sit in front of a vanity and have the edge lit lighting. It's great when your subject is directly in front of the camera, be it a DSLR, be it a camcorder, be it a webcam. And that's the versatility of this product. You can put whatever camera you want in the center of this and then have the light around it illuminate the subject. And that's the real power of a ring light. Now, design-wise and spec-wise, it is featuring a 17-inch diameter radius in terms of the product in itself. So it's a really big ring in itself. And with that, it's powered by these awesome LEDs that are really high-quality LEDs that offer you temperature control from 2700K to 7000K. So you can go from those warmer to cool tones, which is a great addition and control functionality. You can control that from the product itself using the buttons. You can actually use the buttons to adjust the brightness as well. So there's a key combination you can do to adjust either the brightness or the color temperature. And then outside of that, you can control it via an app on iOS or Android on your phone, or even their desktop apps in the Elgato ecosystem. Now, the LEDs in themselves, while very powerful, are also edge lit. Now, what this means in comparison to kind of cheaper alternatives out there, there are other ring light products, they're way cheaper in a fraction of the price, is a lot of times you'll see in those $50 to like $100 ring lights is they offer like direct LED lighting. And what that gives you is a much harsher, and while it could be misconceivingly bright look, it's harder for the subject to sit in front of that for a long period of time. With the edge LEDs, you get a more even light in comparison to those products. And with those two built-in diffusers that Elgato offers, you can easily sit in front of this like I am now for a couple hours shooting videos and whatnot and not be too distracted by the light or blinded by the light in itself. And again, you get that natural kind of ring shape. If I was closer to the camera, you would see that illumination of the ring in my eyes. Though you would have to note it is, even though it's diffused lighting, if you wore something like glasses, I'd imagine you'd still get some sort of reflection or, glint in the lenses there. Now, with that said, the product is all based on the foundation of the Master S pole mount. That's how the whole product is mounted to your desk. It's a clamp that goes into your desk, a C-clamp, and then from there, the pole mounts up, and it's also height adjustable. But at the very top, it features a ball head for you to adjust the angle and pan and tilt the light. And then you also have a separate threading, a 1/4 inch standard tripod thread for your camera. You can put your webcam on there, you can put a tripod on there, you can get an adapter for a phone. So you can really control the light and the flexibility and the orientation of it. Now that said, let's take a look at some demos on how the lighting actually performs in multiple solutions here. So we're currently in the studio. It is midnight, no natural light is coming in, no lights at all are on other than my phone light. And if I was to turn the ring light on, to give you an idea of what it would look like, here we are with this sole light source being the ring light at 50% brightness, mind you. This is an idea of kind of what it would look like. This is 7000K in terms of the temperature. I can drop it down to 25% brightness. This is kind of the look you'd be getting. And I can turn it all the way up to about 100% brightness. And this is a little bit more overpowering, but this is kind of the look you get. You get more enough to actually illuminate the whole room, really. I can also show you the temperature spectrum, so going from like a 7000K to the more warmer tones, so you're going into the opposite spectrum, which is around 2900K at this side, and then back again. And just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like, illuminating you as a sole light source in a completely dark room here, this is what it would look like with the ring light on, plus all the other ambient light going on as well. So now that you've seen how the light performs, who's it for? Like I said, it's for content creators and streamers who are typically the main subject of their camera angle. If you're shooting product B-roll, if you're shooting product reviews, this isn't the lighting solution that you want. If you're looking to add filler lights or adjustment lights in the background, this is not the purpose for that. While it can be used supplementally to add on more light, you would use this typically as a direct light source because this is where your camera is going to sit. You're not going to buy this just to use it solely for the lighting and not the tripod-like features. Otherwise, you can get another type of lighting product. Again, this is an all-in-one, and that's who it's really gearing towards. So with that, let's talk about the pros and cons in my experience. Pros, like I just mentioned, it's flexible. It's all-in-one in the sense I think you're buying a tripod. You're saving space because of that single pole mount and the way it clamps to your desk. It's offering you a really great lighting solution. The LEDs are powerful. They're customizable in the sense of color, temperature, and brightness. And they do a really, really great job of lighting a scene and lighting a subject, whether it's for videography or photography, as you saw in those demos and examples. Outside of that, it can be a pro or con, but I will say you're going into an ecosystem, right? You're buying into the Elgato ecosystem. You can control this with other Elgato products like the Stream Deck. You can use this in conjunction with the products like the Keylight or Keylight Air. So it is a part of that ecosystem, and that in itself can be a pro or con depending on how you look at it. Now, cons. This is a $200 ring light, and that is a pretty expensive investment. Though I will offset this con by saying that when it comes to lighting, it's an essential thing when it comes to videography and photography. And I want to remind people out there, you can always upgrade your cameras. You can get better lenses. You can get the 4K cameras and whatnot. If you have bad lighting, it's not going to matter. You should invest in your lighting, and it's definitely a worthwhile upgrade to spend $200 on a nice light versus $2,000 on a nice camera if you don't have good lighting. So again, $200 is definitely higher in the spectrum of ring lights, I will say, however, and you are paying that Elgato tax to get a product like this where there's like $50, $70, $100 ones that achieve a similar look, but not to this degree. Now, build quality. I do want to talk about this in my personal experience as a con because out of the box, I had a lot of issues with my product. Unfortunately, I got my product early, 2 days prior to launch. I had a lot of time to play around with it before official launch. And out of the box, my Master S pull mount, the height adjustment was not working whatsoever. The thread wasn't catching. I don't know what was going on. It definitely felt like a manufacturing defect. Furthermore, as I posted the question out online after it was officially released to the public, there was somebody else who also mentioned having the exact same issue with their product, and they had to use vice grips to actually get the threading to work. In my opinion, it's a huge fail on the product design. I think this could have been more done intuitively and just, a manufacturing defect, which I understand does happen. I will say I took it to the RMA department from Elgato. I went through that whole process that a typical customer would go through. And they weren't expecting, I think, the demand at launch. And I understand due to COVID and the circumstances and the climate, they said they didn't have stock on hand. But mind you, I contacted them 2 days after official launch and they couldn't replace my product. And even 2+ weeks, I still haven't heard back on any update on whether or not they have new stock or are able to RMA my product. Seeing as somebody who's reviewed a lot of products in the past, I've worked with a lot of different companies. It's one thing I like to do when I have an issue or there's a manufacturing defect. I take it directly to the manufacturer. Could I have gone to a retailer or where you buy it to replace it? Yes, your retailer is probably going to replace it if there's like a 20-day, 30-day return policy. But when it comes down to a manufacturing defect, you always want to know what's wrong and what the manufacturer will do within their built-in warranty to fix that. I feel like Elgato dropped the ball here with their warranty and RMA process. It wasn't as fluid. It wasn't as smooth. There wasn't like a proper process for me to figure out updates on the replacement. Ultimately, I took time. I took the tools to my product and I got it to work 2.5 weeks later to finally get that threading loose. But again, that's not something a consumer should have to do out of the box. So that was a huge con and a huge kind of initial first impressions out of the gate for me. Lastly, I will say there's certain inconsistencies here that I feel like they could have definitely, fixed. I think down to their website and how the product's advertised. I love the idea it's sold as a versatile option, and that's a pro for me. However, on their website, they list it as this product that has like multiple threadings and multiple adjustments in some pictures. In other pictures, in actuality, the product doesn't have those adjustments. So I'm not sure if those are disclaimers to showcase like this is if you add on that stuff, but there was weird inconsistencies in the demo product pictures that they used where they showed a pole mount that had 2 height adjustments when in actuality the real product has 1. So I don't know what's going on there. The last thing I will say, I wish they could have done better with cable management, knowing that this solution will be implemented in streaming setups and other desk setups. I feel like they could have done a better job to do cable management through the pole, or even just adding a basic wire clamp to this to manage that. And then furthermore, I wish they took considerations for like things like, if this is your main camera and you're setting up on your desk like I am now, it's back against the wall, close to the wall. And while it offers a slim solution with the pole mount and the light in itself, I wish there was a quick release or a better solution to take the camera on and off. I understand the universal 1/4 inch thread and why they did that. However, I have seen people add like quick release plates to this to make it easier to take the camera on and off. So maybe that's a solution that I'm going to look into. I think that's more ideal because I'm moving my camera around a lot, but that's just something I wanted to mention. So overall, though I was doomed by bad first impressions out the gate, I will say in terms of an actual lighting product and as a lighting source, it does a great job. And it offers a really great, element to your setup and improving your overall quality, especially if you're shooting videos where you're closer to the camera or the subject is right in front of it. Even now, I'm a little bit further, so you're not seeing the full extent of this that you did in the demo. But the ring light is great at what it does in that aspect. You're paying that Elgato tax, however, you're paying to be a part of that ecosystem. And I think if you're already part of the ecosystem and you don't have a lighting solution, then by all means, this is a great way if you have the budget to step into that space. If you're not in that ecosystem as is, and you just want a ring light in itself, you just want a light that turns on, turns off, you can put your camera in the middle, there's definitely cheaper alternatives out there. If you want all those bells and whistles, you want the adjustment of color temperature, you want the brightness control, you want the ability to adjust it from your phone, your computer, your Stream Deck if you have one, then yes, this is the perfect product for you. So it's going to depend on your setup. At the end of the day, like I said, lighting is a key and essential for building an overall great setup for your stream, for your YouTube videos, what have you, and this is just a tool for you to do that. At the end of the day, there's always great alternatives, options. There's natural light too at the end of the day, which is always a source of lighting. So consider that in your purchasing decision. Hope this review helped you out, and if it did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, like this video, and subscribe for more content and more reviews. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thanks for watching.